right, so this principle is acceptance versus insistence. Um, in martial arts, there's a couple different ways to think about things. In jiu-jitsu, it's a purely defensive art, really. The old school stuff that I was taught is anyways. And the idea is I'm not trying to insist that anything happen. I'm not trying to force it. I'm just going to accept whatever comes my way. If you start to insist that something has to be a certain way, that's when you run into trouble. Like, as an example, if you have in your mind, well, I'm going to get this guy with this particular technique, and I just insist it's going to be this way, and if it doesn't work, then you're lost. All of a sudden, your whole game plan is defeated, and you're not sure what to do next. That's a big one in life, really, because so much of life is out of our control. We can control how we respond, but I certainly can't control many of the factors that are going on. And so the more I can accept the reality of things without being so upset by it, without insisting that it has to be a certain way, and since it isn't that way, how unfair life is and how much I'm just miserable about it. There's actually in psychology, in certain fields of psychology, the idea of the inability to accept the situation is thought to be one of the primary reasons why people develop a lot of mental issues, a lot of emotional issues. So you have to accept what it is. And now I don't have to accept that it will always be that way. I don't have to be a fatalist about it. I can say, listen, I'm going to change the situation. I'm going to change things, but you have to do it in a time and in a manner that makes sense and is doable. So acceptance versus insistence. I don't like the idea that I'm going to insist that somebody does what I think they should do. I'm not gonna, I don't like the idea of I'm insisting that the world has to be a certain way when it's not. If you can accept things being what they are, in a strange way, that leaves you in a position that you then can change. You can actually move the chess pieces around, but you have to accept where they're located. I can't very well play a game of chess and say, well, I don't think that person, their knight should be there or their king should be here or some other thing. It is what it is. Now you have to deal with that. So think about that in your life. Think about the things that you're insisting have to be a different way, and ask yourself, is that empowering to you? Does that help you? Or is it making you miserable? My guess is it's probably making you miserable. Once you can accept what the situation is, then you're free to change it. You're free to start moving and making situation better for yourself. But you can't do that if you're stuck in the insistence that it has to be a different way. There's just no way this can be. It happens often with health situations. With you get a bad diagnosis, and at first you just can't believe it, and you don't want to accept it. Ultimately, you have to accept it. If you're unable to do that, you'll never deal with it. So that's this one, guys, is acceptance versus insistence.